I call this meeting to order at 2:15 p.m. Moving on to roll call, VP Elizabeth Dimitro. Present. Treasurer Cassim Bearcat.
Present.
Student Trustee Bertha Sanchez.
Present.
Advisor Johnny Urbina.
Present.
Senator Daniel Aguilar. Senator Carolina Trepko.
Present.
Senator Jonathan Garcia.
Present.
Senator Betsy Macedo.
Present.
Senator Isma Medina.
Present.
We don't have any correspondence or minutes to approve. Do I have a motion to suspend parliamentary procedure?
So motion.
Motion made by VP Elizabeth Dimitro. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Seconded by Jonathan Garcia. All those in favor of suspending parliamentary procedure say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right, thank you. We can now speak freely. Our guest today is Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, Dr. Jodi Koslow Martin. Welcome, Dr. Jodi Koslow Martin. You now have the floor.
Thank you, Jasmine. Hello, everyone. Hello to whoever's online with us. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here and to talk about a very timely topic of Governor of Illinois executive order that requires vaccination of all higher education personnel and students in the state of Illinois. So I'm going to offer a very brief recap of what has happened in terms of our implementation of the executive order, and then take some questions and offer some answers, I know from this group, and then for anyone else that might be joining us remotely as well. Does that sound good? Is that good, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So this executive order comes from the state of Illinois, out of the governor's office, that essentially says that anybody who is a student in a higher education institution in the state of Illinois needs to provide proof of vaccination. If a student chooses not to be vaccinated or chooses not to demonstrate that proof, they do have to undergo and submit results for weekly COVID-19 testing. All of it is in an effort to try to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, which all of us have been living through. So it's key to know that in this executive order, it wasn't specifically said, here's how everybody should go about doing this. It was up to the colleges to figure out the best way to implement it. Now, this is something that is true for both the employees and for all of you as students too. So what has happened so far? We, along with other community colleges, are implementing this executive order, making use of something called Cleared For. It's a platform, it's a technology platform. We are one of 19 community colleges actually making use of this platform in the state of Illinois. And what it does is that it sends each of you an individualized, customized email with a unique URL by which you download or click on, I should say, you don't have to download an app, and upload your vaccination card, the results, or the testing results that you do weekly. Now it's started. So here we are at the beginning of it all. And we, Jasmine and I, sent out the email on Wednesday afternoon. Right now, we're at about a 12% compliance rate of sending it out to our students, okay? So 12% have submitted proof of vaccination since then. And right now, it's only been proof of vaccination because we haven't started, it's still so early, we haven't started the testing pieces quite yet, okay? So that's, I wanted to offer that context and give you the most up-to-date information here so that as students and student leaders, you got a sense of what it was. But at this point, I would love to hear what your questions are and to be able to answer them with as much clarity as I can. Also knowing it's still early and we're all really in this together with other institutions of higher ed, trying to figure this all out as we go along. So what questions might you all have for me as we move forward here?
I have a question. Where can we find the information about the new vaccine mandate?
Sure. Great place to go is our website. So under the coronavirus tab, and even if you click on the red banner there, great place to find it. As students too, here's another place that I highly recommend you to go, which is the student portal. Here's why. I know that there have been students out there that maybe thought that my message with Jasmine was spam. I've heard that. I don't know if you have, but I've heard that because it's very pretty, a banner at the top with TC gets vaccinated and it's blue, and it looks like maybe it's spam. And if you're not used to getting something like that, you might think that. But on the student portal, that message is front and center, and it verifies and validates that our message is real, and that's a really great place to find all the information you need for anything related to Triton, but especially this, the student portal is the place to go.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Are there other questions? I know that there are.
Do we have to submit the vaccine more than once?
Good question. No, once and you're done. So I will tell you this, it will only take it as a completed vaccination card, 2 dosage. 2 dosage if it's Pfizer or Moderna, it's just the one for Johnson & Johnson, okay? So if you've done one, you still have to do the testing weekly until you get the second one. And then you upload a completed vaccination card, and you only have to do it once. And then you never have to worry about it again. Okay? Once you do it, it gives you an email back from cleared for, and it's cleared with the number 4. It's the catchy brand name that maybe you all saw there. That is what assures you that you're good to go for in terms of this, okay? So you only have to do it once. Good question. Go ahead.
Doesn't matter what type of vaccine you have to get or justified.
It does not matter. The question was, does it matter which vaccination you need to have? It does not matter. You'll see on the unique URL that you have, it lists the one that would be available to you in this area. You would have had Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson. It does not matter which one.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of COVID test would I need to take if I were to go to the T building?
Okay, good question. So what kind of test would you take? You'd be taking a saliva spit test. So those are the tests that are provided through something called Shield, Illinois, which is what schools are using. Schools, K-12, higher ed is using. It's a test from the University of Illinois, and it is a great, easy, simple, reliable way to get results. I will tell you that it's getting hard to get the Shield testing. We are ahead of the game. We had them in place already at Triton. But if we run out, it will go to the nose swab, which is a little more invasive. But for now, it will be the Shield test, which is a saliva spit test. It looks like a funnel, and then you spit in it, and then you get the results sent to you. Okay? Yes.
For those that choose not to be vaccinated, how long could they expect the results to be in?
For those that choose to not be vaccinated and get tested,
Yeah, and get tested. How long?
so it from the T building, it takes about 24 hours for you to get the test.
Oh.
Let me give you some more information about the testing on campus so that you know this. You don't have to go for the test like right before you come to campus or something. You just have to go weekly, okay? So you just have to go weekly at some point for your testing. I would think it's easier to plan a schedule. You pick the same time every week. You make that appointment, information's in the portal, to go get your test done every week at the same time. It's just about the consistency of doing it every week. If there's a positive result, our nurse will spring into action as she has, Nurse Laura Hill, and do the contract tracing, which will be necessary from that. But I think it's important to know that it doesn't have to be before you come to campus. We're implementing still. No one should not go to their class right now because they haven't done their testing yet. We're getting this ramped up. They should make the appointment for their testing and keep doing what they're doing so that we can get as much compliance as possible. I also want to tell you that this is all still kind of new for everybody, right? It's all new. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but sometimes you find one technology tool doesn't talk to the other one. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but right now, Cleared 4 doesn't talk to Shield. So the student still has to upload their results into the platform. But those of you who are business majors, 19 clients in the state of Illinois, Cleared 4 is working to get their information to be compatible with Shield so that it's a quick, there's not another step for students, and just right away as the results come in, it will come into your unique URL too. We are not there yet. The student has to upload their test results. So I'm going to do a check. Does that make sense, or do I need to offer a lot of information about testing? But did that make sense?
It makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay. All right, cool.
So is this mandate only for Triton College?
Oh, no. It is not just for Triton College. This mandate is for the entire state of Illinois of higher education. And so it's for all of the colleges and universities that are in the entire state, all of the community colleges and the four-year institutions as well. We're all figuring this out all together.
Yeah.
It is not Triton College doing it.
Okay.
It's everywhere. Yeah, good question.
Does it cost any money to get vaccinated here?
Nope, it does not cost any money. So we have another vaccination clinic coming up on October 7th. We held the first one last Friday. Not that many. We had 22. We had 22 people come and get vaccinated here on campus. My thanks to Jonathan and Jasmine were there giving out lunches to people who were there too. We have another one on October 7th. So we do want to offer, it is an affiliation that we have with Dual Osco. So it is a Pfizer, it's the Pfizer vaccination, which I think is especially good because that's the one that is FDA approved already. So it is that. So when you do come for your first one here on campus, if you come for the October 7th one, the follow-up one, you'll go to a Dual Osco in order to get the second one. That's the easiest way for me to tell you to do it. It does not cost anything. Okay. Good question.
So for the second vaccine clinic, they won't be able to get their second dose. It'll-
Yes, they will, actually. If you came to the first one, you can get your second one. Yes, you can go to the vaccination clinics to get your second dose.
I have a question. How much does it cost to get tested here at Triton?
There is no cost to be tested here at Triton. Good question too. No cost. No cost. So that's kind of key. That's a great question, and it's key. Because you could submit results from a home test, but you have to buy those, right? And sometimes it's getting hard to find those. I mean, you walk into Walgreens, the shelves, they're gone, right? It's hard to find those lately. The Shield test here is free. You just come, it's across campus. It's actually in the space where we had the vaccination clinics when we were a county site. So we have repurposed that space to offer testing to our students in our community in order for them to be tested. These are good questions. Keep going.
For the people online, Yeah, so if you're online and you want to ask a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we can call on you.
Did you all have more questions? On the list or off of the list?
Yeah, so if we get our dose of vaccination, are we excused for an absence after we get the vaccine if we have any symptoms?
Up to each individual professor and instructor. So, great question. So there have been instances where people feel some symptoms after getting their second vaccination shot. Work with the actual instructor. Instructors have, they all have their syllabi and they have the right in the protocol to make decisions about attendance. You would work with each individual about getting the second vaccination shot. But here's really what is a good thing for all of you to know. They have to do the same requirement. So to have a vaccination that is required of students, it's also required of staff, including the instructors who are coming to campus. So they will likely be understanding. I mean, we're all absolutely in this together in terms of trying to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
Rosemary online says, I tried using the link to download my results, but it did not work.
Sure.
The only option to submit the is that the only option to submit the vaccination record?
Yes, it is. But yet I want to offer a couple ways that were set up to offer help to students. So Rosemary, one way is to email from your student account your challenge or your questions. Hey, I need help, to cleared for, cleared, CLEARED, for @triton.edu. That is IT help to make the URL and to make the submission as easy as possible. The other thing that is available to students too is that, say a student needs help taking a picture of the card or not sure what to do there, a student can come to the welcome desk in the B building, and the welcome desk can walk through it with the student, take a picture with an iPad, and then have the student use the URL to get it uploaded. We intentionally, in the Division of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, what that means is that it's all the staff that are student services staff. We've all been trained to try to help students, and we've done it ourselves, so that if a student comes to us for help, that we want to be able to help in the moment there. So Rosemary, that's a couple of ways to go about doing that. I see that the email is listed there, but don't feel like you have to figure all of this out on your own. If you need some help, we're here to absolutely help you out. Great question. This is super fun. I don't know if it's fun for all of you, but this is great, because these questions are great questions. And this is me going off script a little bit here, but simply to say this is a hard thing. We went from not doing anything and trying to do the best we could and mitigating the risk and wearing our masks. And I am so grateful to all of our students who have been so good about wearing their masks and really trying to help each other out, of not to get each other sick or to get ourselves sick and then bring it home to our family. So that has been great. And because of that, I am fully confident that as we unveil and do more and more and get into this process more and more, I should say, I think there's going to be really great level of compliance, because my sense so far from all of you and from the students that I have talked to, no one wants this, right? No one wants to get COVID, and we're all in this trying to ensure that we can be safe and to keep coming to class face to face. So while this will take some time for us to get underway, like here we are in the midst of it, I am absolutely fully confident and just so appreciative of our students who have been able to say, yep, I'll do it, I got it, you know, however I can help, I can help. And so I expect that to continue. What are some other questions that you all might have?
Yeah, after I submitted my vaccine card, a QR code popped up. Do I need that for the school or?
Yeah, not right now, but you know, always good to hang on to that. What I did is that it came up, I did it on my phone. I did my submission on my phone, which I don't know if any of you have done. I think it's actually easier to do the mobile version of it because I had a picture of my vaccination card on my phone already. So when I went to upload it, up came my photo library and then my picture of the vaccination card. So when I got the QR code on my phone, I took a quick picture of it just to have it in my photos. Right now, we're not asking anyone to check or to show it at this point. We are very much just trying to get the compliance, meaning the proof submitted, so that we can all live and work together and not have to show each other our QR code, but rather continue to come to class every day, do our normal, as much as normal can be. We could be day-to-day life without having to pull that out every time. So I don't know of anyone asking for it right now personally. It's really good to have, and that's just where we are with it right now.
Let's say I don't want to get vaccinated and I drop my classes because of it. Would I get reimbursed?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So right now it's vaccination or test, and there are no other alternatives. There are no other exemptions. You would have to submit a petition in order to be refunded for your class fund. And here's why you'd have to do a petition in order to do it. I want to make sure that we are as customized as the URL that you get, that we work with each individual student, and to really do all we can for students to stay enrolled. So while we will continue to work to have the funds available to students that choose not to vaccinate or to test, what's really important is submitting a general petition in order for that to happen. And so that we can work with students one-on-one to find a way for them to be able to continue their education without leaving Triton College. So what does that mean? Well, only the students who are completely online don't have to do a test or the vaccination. And while we might not have as many offerings as we do on face-to-face, I would love to be able to work with students to find a way for them to continue their education at Triton and not choose no college because of this mandate. And I don't want to see that happen for anyone. It doesn't feel right for our institution to lead to that. That's why I answered it in that way, that we want to do all that we can to have students stay enrolled.
So I'm in the nursing program and I already uploaded my COVID vaccine to Castle Branch. Do I
Oh.
still have to upload it to Cleared for?
You do. Good question. So a number of students who are in health-related fields and have clinical requirements where they had to have a proof of vaccination uploaded have done it through a different platform. But the Cleared for platform is just related to this mandate in Triton College. So yes, we absolutely do need to have you submit those vaccination cards to the Cleared for platform. Sorry that you have to do that again, but we have to have you do that again. Yeah.
When is the deadline to submit the COVID vaccine card?
Great question. So we have to start to be in compliance starting now, but starting October 4th is when we're going to dive in and really look for more compliance. So at that point, we're gonna start to do it. Right now, we've just simply said, do it as soon as you can. Do it as soon as you can. It's easier to do it now than to forget about it. I'll also say this, is that if a student doesn't submit anything, students will start to receive reminders from the Cleared for platform every 48 hours that something needs to be submitted. So it will become increasingly intrusive in your email to submit this information when you can. Yeah. You know, I'll share this, is that we saw a lot of movement and submissions over the weekend from people, both staff and students. And I think that that makes sense. Great time. Like, you want to take some time, find your card, reach out to the Illinois Department of Health if you don't know where your card is, something, and do it there. So that's why we understand that it takes some time to get this implemented. And we're not looking to penalize as you're trying to get things in order. So wanted to give it a couple of weeks, a few weeks here. And so October 4th is really when we're going to start to be checking for compliance more in depth at an institutional level. These are good questions. I have Johnny sitting over there. Everybody can hear me okay? I think we can. Rosemary responded that accordingly, which is so great. Even everybody can hear. So good. Other questions? The virtual audience.
Does anyone that's online want to ask a question?
And as we wait for this, this is recorded, yes?
Yes.
So that other people might be able to hear some of the answers, because sometimes it's easier to hear and watch later. So we should work to make this available.
Yeah.
Well, that will be your judgment. If this was worthwhile, then I'll work, but. All
I have
right.
a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you reassure us how safe this website is?
Yes.
This is the .com website instead of .com.
Yes, yes, yes. So the question was, ensure the safety of using the website, the URL of Cleared for of the platform. Great question. So we've added a number of platforms and chose Cleared for in that they had already been working with places, workplaces that had been using Cleared for work. The other part that we really liked was that there are two ways by which to validate the identity of the user. So first you have to use your email from the institution. So that's one way that you're logging on. We selected a platform that sent a URL that is distinct to each individual user that requires you to do that as another means to make sure that it is safe. The platform is the holder of the information, and while select individuals on campus, IT related, or nurse may be able to access those records, there isn't anyone that can go back in and to look at these records other than the user him or herself. So it is, as you said, it's not a .gov. I think in part, this is also new, that there isn't a verification platform at a .gov level that allows an individual user to upload and have some control of that sharing of their own medical records themselves. It would be a lot easier to do that, but we don't have the luxury of having that right now. Good question.
Any further questions from anyone here or anyone tuning in virtually?
All right.
I'm gonna take that as a no. Thank you, Dr. Koslow Martin.
It is a pleasure to be here. I hope you kind of learned something, you know. I like to be able to offer some information. After that. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.